5 bizarre discoveries found only in Congo that will leave you shocked. Hello, dear friends of the Discovery Fact Channel. It's me again, your fearless admin, standing tall between heaven and earth. Today I'm taking you on a trip, but not the kind where I lead you to a snack stand at the end of the alley. No, this time we're strapping on our backpacks and heading straight into the heart of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, one of the most mysterious and untamed places on the planet. Just hearing that, you can almost smell the dampness of the rainforest already, right? Okapi, the zebra wearing a giraffe's outfit found only in Congo. If one beautiful day you're walking through the forest and suddenly spot an animal with black and white striped legs like a zebra, a body somewhat resembling a giraffe, but without the long neck, don't assume you're looking at some kind of glitch in nature. You may have just come face to face with the okapi, one of the strangest and rarest animals on the planet, found only in the dense forests of northern and northeastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. The first time people see an okapi, they usually have to blink a few times. Wait, is it a zebra or a giraffe? That question is guaranteed to pop into your head. In reality, the okapi is a close relative of the giraffe, just the short neck edition. Its boldly striped white legs help it blend into the dappled sunlight of the rainforest. Meanwhile, its upper body is sleek and graceful, as if designed from an exceptionally refined blueprint of nature. This remarkable animal is currently protected in the Okapi Wildlife Reserve, located in Apulu in northeastern Congo. It is considered one of the few true safe havens for the species, and honestly, okapis do not adapt well to zoo life. When placed in artificial environments, many individuals experience severe stress, become ill, and may die after a short time. It's heartbreaking, like a true child of the forest that simply cannot endure concrete walls and iron fences. Scientists estimate that only about 10,000 to 20,000 okapis remain in the wild today. That number may not sound critically low, but in a world where wildlife habitats are shrinking every day, it is a worrying sign. Bushmeat hunting, illegal logging, and climate change are steadily suffocating their natural habitat. As the forest disappears, so does the okapi's shelter. Interestingly, okapis are rather introverted animals. They prefer living alone rather than in herds. Their diet mainly consists of young leaves, grasses, and ferns. But here's a detail that makes people say, wow. Okapis also eat pieces of wood that have been charred by lightning strikes. Strange, right? Scientists believe this behavior helps them supplement essential minerals and aids digestion. In a lighthearted way, you could say the okapi eats healthy, but still enjoys a special topping on the side. Their life cycle is also fascinating. Okapis can live between 15 and 20 years under favorable conditions. Females have an unusually long gestation period, between 427 and 457 days, which is well over a year of waiting. When a calf is born, the mother carefully hides it in thick brush during the first few weeks. Baby okapis are nearly perfectly concealed, lying silently to avoid predators. After about 6 months, they are weaned and begin their journey toward adulthood in the green depths of the forest. Listening to the story of the okapi, doesn't it sound like a mysterious character from an adventure film? A unique animal living quietly in the deep forest, wearing a coat that looks like it was blended from 2 different species. Yet behind that unusual appearance lies a quiet battle for survival. In an increasingly modern world, animals like the okapi stand as proof of nature's extraordinary diversity. If they disappear, we won't just lose a species, we'll lose a miracle that Earth took millions of years to create. The 8,000-year-old secret of the small but mighty people. In the heart of Africa's densest rainforests, where sunlight must slowly filter through thick layers of leaves, there is a community that has lived for thousands of years with almost no change to its way of life. They are the Pygmy people, among the oldest inhabitants of Central Africa, living primarily in the forests of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Long ago, before European explorers ever set foot in the region, rumors claimed they were not ordinary humans but half-human, half-animal beings hiding in the shadows. Sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, doesn't it? But the truth is very different. Between 1865 and 1870, the French-American explorer Paul du Chaillu and the German botanist Georg Schweinfurth met them in person and documented their existence. opening the first door for the outside world to truly understand this unique community. They reported that the pygmy people are small in stature, most standing about 4 to 4 feet 7 inches tall, with an average weight of around 77 pounds. But don't be quick to judge based on height alone. Living in a dense forest environment with limited sunlight and distinctive nutritional conditions, their bodies adapted in their own way. Those natural conditions contributed to their shorter stature, yet in return, they developed remarkably strong immune systems. In a place where even the mosquitoes seem especially bold, they have continued to live and thrive for thousands of years. What surprised me most is that their rhythm of life has remained nearly unchanged for 8,000 years. No cities, no skyscrapers, no Wi-Fi. And yet, they have endured. Their homes are simple dome-shaped huts made from branches and large leaves standing just over 3 feet tall with small openings to crawl through. The huts are arranged in a circle, with the tribal chief and elders staying in the center. It may look simple, but it reflects a clear social structure. Tight-knit, like one extended family. The pygmy people love the forest in a way that those of us accustomed to concrete buildings and the sound of traffic can hardly imagine. They see themselves as children of the forest, calling it their mother and father. They collect only dry wood and never cut down living trees. Hearing that might make many of us pause. Their commitment to protecting nature can be more serious than in many modern societies. The men are exceptionally skilled hunters. Despite their small frames, they possess highly acute hearing and vision, able to detect prey from great distances. Their arrows, coated with sedatives or poisons they prepare themselves, are powerful enough to bring down large animals. The women tend the fire, a sacred symbol in their culture. For them, if the cooking fire goes out, it symbolizes the fading of the family itself. They eat insects, especially ants, and even have their own preparation methods. They decorate themselves with leaves and natural pigments, creating vibrant patterns to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. They do not use written language. They do not count in the way we understand counting. They do not measure age in years. For them, time is not a number. It is the rhythm of the forest, the hunting seasons, the sound of birds greeting the morning. So here we are in a world spinning faster and faster with technology and speed, while there remains a community living slowly and in complete harmony with nature. And that raises a question for all of us. Who is truly more civilized? The people living in brightly lit cities, or these small individuals who have fully blended into the forest for thousands of years? I don't know about you, but for me, the answer may not be as certain as it once was. The swamp that could save or burn the entire planet. In the heart of the Congo Basin, there is a place that, at first glance, looks like nothing more than swamps, trees, water, and mud. But don't be too quick to dismiss it as just a muddy wetland, because beneath that mud lies a treasure, or more accurately, a gigantic carbon bomb of the earth. That place is the vast peat swamp known as Cuvette Centrale. This peatland covers roughly 56,200 square miles, making it larger than England. Just hearing that number already sounds massive, right? But what truly keeps scientists up at night isn't its size. It's the fact that it stores approximately 30 billion metric tons of carbon. Yes, you heard that correctly, 30 billion tons. That amount is equivalent to about 3 years' worth of global fossil fuel emissions. In other words, beneath that wet layer of mud lies enough stored carbon to dramatically shift the global climate if it were released. So what exactly is peat, and why is it such a big deal? Simply put, peat is a layer of organic soil formed from plant material that has partially decomposed in waterlogged conditions over thousands of years. Plants grow and absorb carbon dioxide, CO2, from the atmosphere. When they die, instead of fully decomposing and releasing that carbon back into the air, they become buried under water and gradually accumulate as peat. Over thousands of years, this process has turned the region into a natural vault, locking carbon safely underground. At this point, you might ask, if it stores carbon, isn't that a good thing? Why call it a bomb? Because it's only safe as long as it remains intact. The peat layer in Cuvette Centrale averages about 6.5 feet thick. If the area is drained for agriculture, exploited for resources, or heavily disturbed by human activity, the peat will begin to dry out. When that happens, decomposition accelerates, and the carbon stored over thousands of years is released back into the atmosphere as CO2. If just 1/3 of those 30 billion tons of carbon were burned or released, global CO2 levels could potentially double, pushing Earth's temperature up by about 5 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, even running the air conditioning at full blast wouldn't save us. What makes this even more significant is that the region lies within the Congo River Basin, at the heart of the world's second largest tropical rainforest. That means we're talking about an ecosystem that is not only rich in biodiversity, but also functions as a giant air conditioner for the entire planet. Cuvette Centrale is like a silent hero, no spotlight, no fanfare, quietly balancing the climate for thousands of years. But this hero is extremely fragile. A single poorly considered development decision, unchecked agricultural expansion, or climate-driven changes in water levels could flip the situation entirely. Instead of being a carbon sink, it could become a massive source of emissions. And the consequences wouldn't stop in Central Africa. They would spread worldwide. You see, sometimes the most ordinary-looking places hold the greatest power. A remote swamp that few people ever set foot in could help determine the future of the global climate. It sounds like science fiction, but this story is entirely real. That's why protecting peatlands like Cuvette Centrale isn't just a national issue, it's a global priority. Because keeping that mud wet and undisturbed also means keeping the air we breathe each day a little more stable. The Mokele-mbembe monster in the deep Congo rainforest. In the heart of Africa, where the jungle is so dense that even Google Maps might give up, there is a name that has made generations of explorers both curious and uneasy: Mokele-mbembe. Local people call it the one who blocks the river. Just hearing that, you know it's no ordinary creature. This being is said to inhabit the Likuala region of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, deep within the vast Congo River Basin. And to put things into perspective, this basin covers roughly 1.5 million square miles, about twice the size of Alaska. In other words, if something wanted to stay hidden, this would be the ultimate expert-level hiding spot. According to local accounts, Mokele-mbembe is about the size of an elephant, with 4 legs, smooth skin, a very long neck, and possibly a single horn or protruding tooth at the front. Just from that description, many people immediately think of long-necked prehistoric dinosaurs, and that's how the surviving dinosaur theory was born. Sure, it sounds a bit like a Hollywood movie plot, but imagine for a moment, what if a population of dinosaurs had somehow survived deep within the rainforest? Science textbooks would need a complete rewrite. Of course, most scientists consider that possibility extremely unlikely. Long-necked sauropods went extinct tens of millions of years ago. However, what makes the legend interesting is that Mokele-mbembe is often described as living in water, raising only its head and neck above the river's surface, remarkably similar to how the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland is portrayed. Is it coincidence or simply the human tendency to weave mysterious tales? The Congo River, the gateway to hell, and the mystery of the deepest river on Earth. If there's a river that has left scientists scratching their heads because they can't even measure its bottom, it's the Congo River. Why? Because this river stretches about 2,920 miles, flows through 10 Central African countries, and pours more than 1.2 million cubic feet of water per second into the Atlantic Ocean. That's equivalent to more than a dozen Olympic-sized swimming pools emptying all at once. From 1971 to 1997, it was known as the Zaire River. Later, the name Congo returned, tied to the Republic of the Congo and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. 2 countries, 2 capitals, Kinshasa and Brazzaville, sit directly across from each other on opposite banks. They are considered the 2 closest capital cities in the world, not counting the unique case of Rome and Vatican City. Stand on one shore and look across, and you might even hear someone calling their family in for dinner. But what truly makes the Congo remarkable isn't just its length or volume, it's its mysterious depth. In some sections, it plunges deeper than 750 feet, and to this day, no one can state with certainty what its absolute maximum depth is. The river is like a massive trench stretching across the continent, hiding an underwater world that remains largely unexplored. Upstream, the Congo is surprisingly gentle. For more than 2,500 miles, it winds calmly and steadily, often described as one of the laziest major rivers in the world because of its slow and consistent flow. Thanks to the enormous size of its basin, it is always raining somewhere within it. That means the river is continuously replenished year-round and rarely runs low. Beneath that calm surface lies an enormous energy potential. Scientists estimate that the Congo Basin holds about 30% of Africa's total hydropower potential. Around 40 hydroelectric power plants operate along the river, the most famous being the Inga Dam. If its full capacity were developed, it could generate enough electricity to power much of sub-Saharan Africa. So the Congo isn't just deep, it's powerful. Things grow dramatic as the river approaches the ocean. Instead of forming a wide delta like many other great rivers, the Congo surges through a narrow channel and creates a 75-mile-long canyon often called the Gateway to Hell. The rapids here are so fierce that even experienced boaters approach with extreme caution. The churning waters seem ready to swallow anything in their path, forming one of the most spectacular and dangerous rapid systems in the world. It doesn't stop there. The lower reaches of the river have also astonished biologists. This is one of the rare places on Earth where species are separated not by mountains or oceans, but by the sheer force of the river's current. In some places, the river is less than a mile wide, yet it acts as a powerful natural barrier, causing fish species on opposite sides to evolve in completely different directions. The result is a collection of unique species found nowhere else on Earth. And let's not forget, the Congo flows through Africa's largest rainforest, second only to the Amazon. About 500,000 years ago, the river emptied into a massive inland lake located more than 185 miles from the ocean. In other words, its geological history is even longer and more complex than what we see today. So when you think of the Congo, don't just picture a river. Think of a vast ecosystem, an immense energy source, a canyon as intense as an action movie, and a deep underwater world that humanity still does not fully understand. Perhaps that's why the Congo is not only the deepest river on Earth, but also one of the planet's greatest mysteries. Congo, with its dense rainforests and vast basin, remains a land filled with mysteries that have yet to be fully explained. From the Cuvette Centrale peatlands storing billions of tons of carbon to the strange creature known as Mokele Mbembe, each one continues to amaze and puzzle scientists. These discoveries not only raise profound questions about the natural world, but also challenge the limits of human knowledge about life and evolution. Congo remains a region rich with potential for extraordinary discoveries that have yet to be revealed. I'm truly impressed by this remarkable land. What about you? Let me know your thoughts about this mysterious place in the comments below. And don't forget to give Discovery Fact a like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. For now, goodbye and see you next time.